How great would it be to get up close and personal with the beauty industry heroes we love and admire, and to ask them, how did you learn to do what you do? I'm Chris Baran, a hairstylist and educator for 40 plus years, and I'm inviting all our heroes to chat and share the secrets of their success. Here's a spin on an old ad. Double your pleasure, double your fun. Learn from two amazing people instead of just one. Okay, enough with the corny dad jokes, but welcome to another episode of Headcases. These two icons are hairdressers. They've owned prestigious bi-coastal salons. They're celebrity stylists, TV personalities, major beauty brand spokespeople. They've created luxury retail lines, and you and I know them from where their heart is really at, educating hairstylists throughout the world. Many have graced stages, only a few have turned their names into a brand, and these two are among the elite in our industry. So let's get into this week's head case, Ted Gibson and Jason Backe. Ted and Jason, I have to say, I don't know how many years we have been talking about getting together for doing this, but I am so excited about having you on here, and I have to say congratulations beforehand and everything that you go on, and we'll be talking more about that later, but welcome to Headcases.
Thank you. Legendary.
Yeah.
Oh, in my mind, I'm legendary. I don't know about you guys.
I always say, don't you know who I think I am?
Yeah. I'm stealing that line. Don't you know who I think I am? There you go. You know what? And I have to say, I'm going to throw this. You guys have both had prestigious, amazing salons in a bi-coastal way. You've been in New York and had salons. You've been in New York. I've been in LA and had salons. But now we have common grounds because you're now in Palm Springs. I was in Palm Springs this last weekend. We have mutual friends with Suzanne Sturm and Lee Baran. I don't know if anybody catches the last name Baran in there, Chris Baran, Lee Baran. Yeah. And we're often visiting in the same area. You live, I visit. So what was the shift like to Palm Springs?
A breath of fresh air?
Yeah, it's been amazing.
Yeah. In what way?
We were in LA for 6 years. First, we were in New York City for 20 years. And then we moved to LA. We were there for 6 years. And I'm envious of my friends that love LA because that never happened for me. It never clicked. And now that we've been in the desert for 2.5 years, it feels like Los Angeles was like a 6-year layover. And since we've been in the desert, we've just been like slapped with inspiration and reinvention, and it's been amazing for me.
Yeah, well, I would say it is the mountains and the native lands and the people that this community draws from, I guess, that the people are incredible, and it just has a certain kind of energy that you really can't put your finger on.
Yeah.
Something that I've never really experienced in all of my travels. I would say that this place has a vibe that everyone needs to experience.
Yeah. The vibe is, for me, as intense in the Coachella Valley as it is in New York City. Like, it's a very different vibe, but it's got that same
vibration. Right?
Yeah, that same kind of thing that's hard to pinpoint. And maybe that's why Native people found Manhattan, and that's why Native people found the Valley. Like, there's a lot of places that are way more comfortable than the desert.
Well, I live in the desert as well, so I'm from Arizona, so believe me, I know desert. But and you brought up an interesting point there, and I think there's a hook that we're talking about in here, because I know here in Arizona, I live in the desert, but the word I'm gonna hit on in here is spiritual. It's got this kind of spiritual vibe to it. And for those of you, whether you're religious or not, I'm not talking about necessarily religion, but I'm talking about the energy that happens. And I think when we talk about the word vibe, that's what we mean, is the energy that it imparts to you. And I'll tell you an amazing, an interesting story. We also have beauty schools, and one of the people that was on our advisory board, we had a convention that was out here in Arizona, and we had their advisory board that came out here to the house. And when I was talking to one of the gentlemen that owns one of the salons out of Texas, and he said, Chris, you lived in Manhattan, and when we flew in here, I just saw brown. Why would you live here? Wow. And I went, well, to each his own. And we had them come out to the house, etc. And we live in Fountain Hills, which is upside of the mountain. We're from Canada, so hills. So we live up in the hills, and it's a dark sky community. What's that?
I know Fountain Hills.
Yeah, see, I love it here.
Beautiful.
And it's a dark sky community. And at nighttime, our doors all open up in our living room, and you have this open into the valley, and it's just stunning. I mean, when I walked into the place, I said, this is the place I want. And when that gentleman walked in, he walked out there, and I don't think that he was commenting on the house, and I don't think he was commenting on the land. I think he was commenting on the energy of when you walked out on our balcony and you just saw the beauty of the desert and the mountains and the flora and fauna that was around it. And it's got such an amazing spiritual quality to it.
Yes, for sure.
And I think that's what draws you to this area and makes you last when there's 120 degree.
Yes.
Agreed.
Well, not last, but want to survive.
Want to survive, yeah.
But I just wanted to say it's great to have you guys on here. And I think before we start, I don't know what rock people would have crawled out from that they wouldn't know who Ted Gibson and Jason Backe is, or is it R? Or if I'm a pirate, is it R? I don't know. Bad dad jokes. But give us your hair stories. Number one is, what's your hair story in the industry, and how did you guys hook up per se when it came to beauty?
Mm-hmm. You want to go first?
With how we hooked up?
Well, that's easy.
Well, let me qualify hooked up first.
That's an easy.
I mean, how did you get into the hairdressing industry and how become a duo in the hairdressing industry? Let's leave it at
first
that.
It was a hookup.
Ted was my teacher in beauty school.
That's how we met.
At the Horst Education Center for Fashion, Beauty, Wellness, and Art.
In Minneapolis.
Before it was the Aveda Institute, it was called
Love
that.
It. So were you there when Horst was there?
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. You.
Yeah.
Ooh, I just got chills.
I know.
He must be here with us.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we just talked about the spirit, so.
My hair journey, I'm originally from Texas and grew up in a small town called Killeen, Texas. And that's, I have my roots on today wearing my hat. Uh-huh. But, there was that moment where I decided I wanted to go to beauty school, and I couldn't go to beauty school. I had to go to barber school first because I could go part-time. And as I went part-time, I remember picking up a pair of shears and picking up a comb, and how I tingled all the way from the top of my head all the way to the bottom of my feet, and never experienced that before. And I knew that I was in the right place. Wow. And at that moment of cutting hair, and that moment of doing a perm, and that moment of doing a pedicure, I knew that I wanted to be in the beauty business.
Ooh, pedicure almost wrecked it for me.
I knew I wanted to be in the beauty business. And I remember when I was clippering hair one time, and I told my classmates, you know what? I'm going to work on stars someday. And I didn't know what that meant.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I had no idea that I would ever live in New York City. Had no idea that I would ever live in Minneapolis, let alone find, the love of my life and create the most incredible things on this journey with him.
Love it.
Yeah. My hair story is a little different. I went to college for a few years, and my whole life in high school, college, I never felt smart. I knew that I wasn't dumb, but I never felt smart. And I was riding around in the back seat of my friend's car with a friend of mine who was a hairdresser, and he was like, you should go to beauty school. And I had never thought about going to beauty school. I in hindsight, grown up, like roller setting my grandma's hair and trying to cut my mom's hair and shampooing in the kitchen sink and doing my sister's hair and her girlfriend's hair for high school dances and stuff. But I never thought about it as a career. But when Adam, that was my friend's name, suggested it, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna check out the Horst Education Center. And the day that I got there, I was like, these are my people.
Yeah.
Like, I just felt like, I always say it was like when Dorothy's house landed in Oz and everything went from black and white to Technicolor. I was like, oh my God. And for the first time in my life, I felt not just smart, but talented and just like I was in the right place.
Wow.
And that's where I met Ted. And Horst, I ended up working at a salon in Minneapolis, the John English Salon. And Horst told Ted, you need to be in New York City. And I never thought I was going to leave Minnesota. Like my biggest move was from northern Minnesota to Minneapolis. You know, that's what all the freaks did. And when we got the opportunity to go to New York, I didn't want to go. And Horst asked Ted again and again. And finally, Ted said to me, I don't think Horst is going to ask again. Let's just go. And I said, okay, we'll go for a year. And it was the same thing when I got to New York City. It was like Dorothy's house again, landing. And all of a sudden I was in this place that I'd never really been to before. And I was like, why was I in Minnesota so long? Like, this is where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's where it went.
You know, and you know, Chris, we brought up Horst a minute ago, and you know, I care, for lack of better terms, I carry him on my back pocket because, you know, he was such a profound effect on my career, and he was such a profound. And there's a hummingbird outside. He was such a profound. Yeah. It was such a profound
Like, what are you doing?
person. Yeah.
Who are you talking to?
Are you stupid? He just really changed my life in many, many, many different ways. I had the pleasure of learning how to do hair from him. I had the pleasure of learning how to develop product and create a brand. He was such a strong force, and anyone that had the opportunity to work with him, they may talk shit about him, they may want to cuss him out or whatever,
Or been cussed out,
but they can never ever deny the fact that he was able to give them something that they still carry to today. And I probably would say that same very thing about you. That anyone who has had a career in the beauty business and have touched many, many people's lives, that there's no way that someone can't say, if they're with us for 2 weeks or they're with us for 10 years, they would definitely have the same thing that they would say. You know what? Horst Rechelbacher, Chris Baran had a major effect on my life.
Oh, well, you guys are kind. Thank you. What was your fondest memories of Horst? Just give me one that stood out to you, where the one that you went, OMG, I've either reached my potential, or I see my path, or he said something so profound. Well, does anything come to your brain right now?
Why are you trying to make me cry? This interview was not supposed to go this way, but there's so many, but one in particular, I've always been a person that have known what it is that I want. And I don't stop at anything except for getting that. Yeah. And I wanted him to teach me how to do hair so bad. I wanted him to teach me by myself, how to dress hair. And I bugged him. And he finally asked me to come out to the spa. I got 2 models. Asked me to come out to the spa, and he helped me understand how to dress hair. And I have the picture of he and I on our bar in the kitchen, of he and I together at that moment where he really made me understand what it means to be a hairdresser at that moment.
Isn't that amazing? Just that word, understand.
Yes.
We have so many people in our business that just tell, and so few people that can make you understand. Wow.
What about you?
Well, two actually. One was when I first got to New York, I didn't know where I wanted to work. And I was told by a couple of people that I respected in the industry, like, don't work at Aveda. If you're going to work at Aveda, you might as well stay in Minnesota. Work someplace else. And so I interviewed everywhere. I interviewed it with Brad Johns, with Garin, with Bumble and Bumble, with like everyone that I'd read about in a magazine. I went there for an interview. And I knew that I would have to be an assistant because that's just New York City. Like if you're coming there from somewhere else, you got to be an assistant, which I didn't get at the time. But after being a salon owner in New York City, I totally get it. The expectation of the consumer in New York City, when someone knows that they have access to the best in the world, even if they never get it, they know they have access to it. And that alone increases their expectation. But anyway, and I interviewed at Bumble with Nick Arrojo. And I had a great, and Rodney.
They were together.
Yep.
But I don't think I met Rodney until later. Nick is who I interviewed with. And I really liked Nick. And we kind of were speaking the same language. And I knew that I would learn. Bumble had a great education program. And so I accepted a job at Bumble and Bumble. And the day before I was supposed to start, Ted was at the Aveda Institute in Soho. And I went there to meet him, and Horst was there. And Horst was like, so, where are you going to work? And I said, I'm going to work at Bumble and Bumble. Like, anywhere I go, I have to be an assistant. And to be honest, Garin had no education. All the salons that were the premium salons, it was like you just watch while you're being an assistant. There was no program.
Yep.
And Bumble had a real program. And I said, so I feel like I'm going to learn something there. And Horst said, don't go work at Bumble and Bumble. I know you're a great hairdresser. Come and work for me. And I was like, okay. And so I started working at the salon on West Broadway, and it taught me all of the things that I needed to know to open our first salon. I helped build education programs. I just did a lot of stuff there that was invaluable as a salon owner.
Wow.
And the other time it was the first time in my life that I went out for lunch with someone. We went out for lunch with Horst and Kieran, and I saw the bill when Horst got it. And for 4 people in lunch in 1995 or something like that, it was over $400. And he didn't even bat a lash. And then we got in his car service and we went to Dolce & Gabbana and Prada. And he was like, buy whatever you like. And I wish that I really would have. But I'm too shy.
We were waiting.
But what do you think about this handkerchief?
Yeah. The way that he was so nonchalant and generous about, I don't want to say his status, but what he'd become was really inspiring.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be able to be that person that I could be so nonchalant about just being wonderful.
Yeah. I mean, that's...
Oh, I'm crying.
You know, it's, if you think about in our industry, a lot of the great people that have been out there have been taken early from us, you know, and it's just such a shame, you know. So good on to both of you. And I want to just, before I really get into some of the meat and potatoes here, you mentioned the word stars, and because you said. And I'm sure this was something both of you did. You went through your career, you started in hairdressing, and then even before then, you're going, someday I'm going to work on the stars.
Yes.
What was that like? What was the first time? Like, did your butt pucker a little bit the first time you had to do a star's hair? Or was there a pressure on you? How did it happen? What was the circumstance that put you in it? And then what was it like the first time you did it?
Well, you know, Chris, always from an early age, I always wanted to be famous. And I remember when Horst said that we should move to New York, and his thing was that you should, and you know, we're talking about him a lot, and because for those people who are listening, for if you are 20 years old or 25 years old or 30 years old, doesn't matter. It's always so important to have someone who will give you an opportunity and for you to take the opportunity, or for you to have a mentor or someone that you look up to, or someone that even that you want to emulate, that you see, oh, okay, I see what they're doing. I want to be like that. And take that and adopt it to who you are as an individual, that will be the most incredible thing. And that's what happened to me when I had the opportunity to work with Horst Rechelbacher. So when he said, you should move to New York and you can help with the salons and you can do editorial and blah, blah, blah. And I didn't know what the hell editorial was. Like, what's that editorial? I had no idea. But what had happened is we had hired Eugene Solomon and Pat McGrath at the same time for our campaign at Aveda. And as we hired them, I just gravitated to Eugene and stayed by his side because I knew that there was something that he had that I needed and wanted. So as they did the campaign, and Horst said, you know what, you should go to Milan and do shows with Eugene. And I said, what? Yeah, you should go to Milan and do shows with Eugene. So the first show that we did in Milan that season was Miu Miu. And it went from Miu Miu to Prada, Dolce & Gabbana, Straness, Anna Molinari, and it just kept going. They did like 10 shows that season. And this was when they were really, they were starting their career. They were working with Craig McDean. They were doing everything in Italian Vogue. And here I am, this Black kid from Texas that had just moved from Minneapolis in Milan, Italy, with the top hairdresser in the world, fashion hairdresser in the world. And here it's happening.
He came back and I was changed. He was a different person.
I was a different person. And so when I came back and I started doing editorial and built this really great reputation in editorial for doing Harper's Bazaar and 17 and Elle and Vogue and all these different publications, editorial, and a few covers. And at that time, it was starting to shift from models to celebrities. And as a hairdresser, I was a fashion hairdresser. I did not want to be anything else except for a fashion hairdresser. And when you think about a fashion hairdressers are in New York, they are in Europe. And the reason why is because we were the ones that created the trend. Yep. So we would do shows. And as we did shows, just like in Devil Wears Prada, where she talks about cerulean blue, that's exactly how it was. So we would do shows. And as we did shows, we would create the trend. And it was starting to shift from models to celebrities. And I did not want to be a celebrity hairdresser, Chris, because truth be told, if you were a celebrity hairdresser, you lived in Los Angeles and you weren't very good.
Yeah.
Because all of the stars at that time were kind of doing their own hair. There wasn't any, thing that was happening. The red carpet was starting. Joan Rivers put that on the map with, who are you wearing? And it kind of started from there. So as I was
another amazing mentor
icon, Joan Rivers. So as I started doing editorial, I was doing a cover with Molly Sims and for Marie Claire. And the fashion director, her name's Lucy Sykes, said to me, Ted, I have this opportunity. I said, what? She said, I know you don't want to do celebrities, but you have to do celebrity. I said, I don't want to do celebrities. I'm a fashion hairdresser, don't want to do celebrities. And she goes, no, you have to. I said, what is it? She said, well, it is a cover of Cosmopolitan in the morning, a cover of Marie Claire in the afternoon. Patrick Demarchelier is shooting it. And those of you who don't know who Patrick Demarchelier, I'm sure you've seen the movie Devil Wears Prada. She said, get me Patrick on the phone. That's the Patrick I'm talking about. And
in
London. And I said, what? And she goes, yeah. And you have to do it. I said, I don't really want to do it. It's a celebrity. She goes, no, you have to do it. And it was Angelina Jolie.
Oh, Jesus.
And I took the opportunity. I went and it changed my life. Working with her changed my career.
In what way? What happened there that
everybody wanted to know who was doing Angie?
Well, they fell in love.
We fell in love. It was a love affair. And then
he was with her for everything.
Yeah, but
except
Chris,
Vogue.
But Chris, there's that moment when you work with someone. It can be on the Bel Air Hotel. It can be in your salon. It could be in your salon suite. It can be in any destination. And that woman that sits in your chair, and you transform her into who maybe she doesn't know who she wants to be, but it is our job in order to create that for her, right? That's what happened when I started working with Angie. That it was a moment where she had just divorced Billy Bob. She had just adopted Maddox. She was still known at, wearing the blood around her neck. She just had that kind of weird kiss with her brother on the red carpet. And when I started working with her, that all shifted, where she became an icon. And the story I was going to tell you earlier, Chris, was the fact of about the Actors Studio. And it was with Angie. And if you look at that video on YouTube of Angelina Jolie at the Actors Studio with James Lipton, you'll understand why she was so incredible, especially in these moments, because the hair changed everything. It did. And that relationship that a woman has with her hairdresser is like no other relationship in her life. And that's exactly what happens. When it clicks and you and I give someone something that they've never seen before, that's when that moment happens.
Yeah.
And we all, as hairdressers, we all have those moments. We all know it's a feeling, it's a love, it's a vibration. It's all of those things wrapped up into this moment of spectacular.
Yeah. Wow.
And you can't deny it.
Wow.
And that's really, all of a sudden, Ted is interviewed by everyone, wanting to talk about Angelina Jolie. And I'd been working at Aveda for like 6 years and applied for a creative director position that I did not get. And I took it very personally. And we decided that we were going to take my wanting to go and work in another salon and his feeling like overnight kind of fame and combining that and opening our own salon. And we found a space in the meatpacking district just as Jeffrey had just opened. There was still meat hanging in some places.
On the streets as well.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
It was all little empty plastic bags.
And prostitutes and trans
and then Jeffrey.
And then Jeffrey,
And we found a space on 14th Street, and we lost it to Sally Hirschberger. And then we found a place on 23rd Street and 5th Avenue. And it was great. It was second floor, tons of light. And we were about to sign the lease, and I went with our business partner at the time to look at this one that was right on 5th Avenue. The rent was $1,000 more a month, which made it jump from like $7,000 to $8,000 or something like that. And it was really great.
It was fabulous.
And so Ted came and looked at it, and it was in a building that our realtor wanted us to look at, and we were like, no. And we finally did, and then it was just like, wow. And Ted's always the visionary. I'm the one that's like, we don't have an extra $1,000 a month for rent. It's right around the goddamn corner. Like, let's just do it, you know? And Ted's like, no, because nobody's going to give a shit if we say Ted Gibson on 23rd Street. But everyone in the world will know where 5th Avenue is.
Yeah.
And when I told this story to my friend Suzanne Sturm, she's like, why do you think Redken has 5th Avenue?
Right.
Like, you know, it's like, it's the anchor.
Yeah.
And so, we decided to do it. I did the math. I was like, okay, we just have to do this many more haircuts a month, you know?
And it worked for 14 years.
And it worked for a long time.
Yeah.
I never realized that we were literally neighbors because I was on 21st right off Broadway.
Oh, wow.
That's where our apartment was.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah, right, half block from Gramercy Park.
Yes.
Yeah, a great area, though. I love that area.
Fantastic area.
I bet we have something in common. I have this love-hate relationship. I hate paying for something that I'm not using. I hate working in a small, cramped box. Yet, I love working in a cool salon that impresses my clients, and I love the culture and synergy of a team while enjoying the freedom of being my own boss. You too? What if all that was available to you at the salon you rent from? Meet Artist on Go, a game-changing way to rent salon space. With Artist on Go, you only pay for the time you're behind the chair. You can choose a salon that fits your vibe, location, and amenities. With Artist on Go, you're a part of a stylist community, not hustling alone. Plus, you get to enjoy perks like clean towels and back bar supplies. Check out Artist on Go, built for stylists serious about their clients and growing their brand without the hassles of managing a space. Here's the kicker. You can save more than 50% on your rent. To find out more, go to bit.ly/artistongocb. That's bit.ly/artistongocb. They're both B words. I want to make a little shift here.
Okay.
But the reason why I wrote down these two B words, and I think they're both important to talk about, was when you talked about Horst and you talked about your other people believing in you when sometimes you might not have maybe wanted. I'm not going to say you didn't believe in yourself, but you might not wanted to do something because what you believed their path was.
Sure.
And I just want to pay homage to those people that believed in the both of you to help you get where you were. That's number one. And then what I want to talk about, the next B word, is the fact of you working with Angelina and how that transformed you from Ted into a brand. Mm-hmm. And that's where I want to go next, is that, I mean, let's face it, I mean, you guys have done everything in the business, I mean, from product development to you've traveled the world doing hair shows, educating. You've done celebrities. There's not a magazine that you've been in, and everything is based around that childhood dream that you both had about hairdressing.
Yes.
And I think it's safe. And I'm going to have to say my butt's puckering a little bit right now because there's things that I've wanted to do outside our business, but maybe haven't had the cojones to do. Mm-hmm. Like I've always been. I love public speaking, and I'd love to be a keynote speaker outside our industry, just on training and how to train and leadership and so on. Mm-hmm. But I'm too damned afraid. Mm. And yet, you guys have had all this notoriety in the hair business, and yet your next phase, what I always call you evolve into. I've evolved in from the perm guy to the color guy to the design guy, avant-garde guy, and all of that. And now I've evolved into the training guy. And you picked something. Mine was always in the hairdressing industry. And you guys went, let's see, we're famous and absolutely famous in the hair business. I'm going to choose beauty and wellness. Mm-hmm. So there had to be a spur in there. Mm-hmm. What was it? What made you say, wake up one morning and go, okay, good. Loved the salons, loved LA, loved New York. I love New York. I put up with LA. And now I'm going to move to Palm Springs, and I'm going to start into the beauty and wellness. So there's people out there that would say, what the hell were you guys thinking? Mm-hmm. What would you say to them? What was the spur? What made you get into that line?
Well, you look like you want to say something.
Well, first of all, I appreciate all the kind things that you said. That's really nice.
Thank you.
And I just want to share that it's not easy. Like we left New York City rich and we left Los Angeles broke. We moved to LA. We're the kind of guys that we get an idea and we just shift gears. Like with our salon in New York City, I'll speak for myself. I reached a point where the things that I loved about it in the beginning, and I can't believe in December it's going to be a decade since we closed that business, but
10 years.
10 years. But I reached a point where the things that really inspired me when we first opened the salon became the things that I was really resentful towards the end. And I reached a point where I was unhappy all of the time and I just didn't want to do it. And we just decided, well, let's just change everything and we'll just close it. And we didn't know that it was going to be such a big deal when we closed it. We didn't know that people would be writing editorials in trade magazines about what Ted and Jason should have done differently.
New York Times.
The New York Times, the Hollywood
Reporter, People Magazine wrote about
Ted closing.
Gibson, the salon Ted Gibson closing on Fifth Avenue.
And for us, it was just like, we're ready to do something different.
Yeah. Chris, we saw the writing on the wall. It was 2015. And 2015, our goal was always because we believe in education, we believe in helping people grow, we believe in all that, right? So we would go to beauty schools and we would pick the creme of the beauty school, bring them into the salon. We would train them for 2 years, take them from a $50 haircutter to a $250 haircutter in a short period of time. And
doing fashion week, doing celebrities,
all of these things, right? And 2015 came, and Chris, students were like, I'm not coming and working for 2 years.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that. Why would I want to do that? Because the onset of Instagram had come and Facebook and all YouTube and all these places that they could see that people were becoming Insta famous, that people were becoming famous, all of those things. And
they had so much more access to education than ever before.
Yep. And then I would cut someone's hair in the salon. I would take them to our 24-foot retail wall with $35,000, $40,000 worth of product on the shelf. And as I would grab her products to take her up to the front desk to book her next appointment, as I'm explaining to her again the product I'm using, she's putting it in her cart from her phone. We were like, this whole business of beauty is changing. Everything is changing.
And we had a $20,000 rent that started at $8,000 or $9,000, and by the time we got to the end of it was $20,000 a month.
Yeah.
And we were just like, I don't know how we can change this model with this rent. And so there was a lot. It was layered when we closed. And then we decided to move to Los Angeles and just reinvent. And we came out here without telling anyone that we were moving. And we took 6 or 7 months to think about what we wanted to do next. And that's when we partnered with Amazon and Alexa and opened the world's first smart salon, where we incorporated all of the smart technology that was available at that time. And this is already 8 years ago.
Yeah, which is it's like 100 years in technology time.
Yeah.
It's true. But as we decided we were going to open this salon, Chris, we said, we went to every manufacturer you can think of.
This is great.
Every manufacturer you could think of to tell them, this is what we want to do. We want to create an experience center for you. We have 5 chairs, what we call clouds. What we want clients, when they come in, they book their appointment online. They enter the salon from a remote. Everything in the entire salon was built from Amazon. That was tech. Everything was tech, from the lighting to the booking system to the room
coffee maker,
everything was you could do from your phone. Wow. So we talked to manufacturers and we said, this is what we're doing. We want to create this experience center. We won't want to carry any product in the salon because it's too expensive for a small business to carry all this product. What we want to do is we want to have QR codes. Those QR codes, you already drop ship anyway. Why don't you have it where the stylist recommends the product, she takes out her phone, you get the QR code, and you send it to her.
Give us a little commission, whatever.
Everything will be fine.
They laughed at us.
Oh, yeah. And now look at them now.
They laughed.
They laughed. They're like, who even uses QR codes?
That's not a really good idea. We would never, ever, ever betray our stylist and sell on Amazon or any of those things. That's the God's truth.
Yeah.
And look at them now.
Yeah.
It's just the nature of the beast. It's just what happened. Yeah. So when we decided we were going to move to LA and open the salon, it was 11 months before COVID.
Oh. And that's where we went from rich to broke. In hindsight, We should have closed it immediately.
Yeah, we should have.
But we kept it open.
Yeah.
We kept putting all the money that we had into trying to make this thing work.
Yeah.
That was getting great press. And it was like, the concept was so fantastic.
Yeah.
And in hindsight, it was just the wrong thing at the wrong time in the wrong place, no matter how good the idea was and how great the people were that were working there.
And then we had the actors and writers strike, which was another 9
Big
months.
blow. Yeah.
So we could never really gain our footing within that salon, even though it was really incredible.
Yeah.
It was really incredible. But, I believe whether, like you said earlier, whether you believe in God or you're spiritual or whatever, there are no mistakes. That my God, I know, is guiding me in the right direction. And that direction was not to be in Los Angeles or have that salon.
Yeah, if we would have never moved to Los Angeles, we never would have bought a house in Palm Springs. If we never would have bought a house in Palm Springs, we wouldn't be living here now and reinventing in the way that we're reinventing. So it's like, Which brings us to the reason why we have.
So we're here now with beauty.
Yeah.
So that, and so the shift, you'd think that the average person that was in your position, say, I'm in hair business, so I'm still going to do something in hair. Now, yes, what you're doing is still hair somewhat, but it's still, it's leaning, and I'm afraid to use left or right anymore, but it's leaning to the side. Yeah.
Yes.
Tell us about it. What made this spur into beauty and wellness?
Well, beauty, wellness, and science is something that I feel like, and I won't speak for Jason, but I feel like that is really important, that us as hairdressers, we are the most depleted people on the planet. We are the people that are thought of as second rate a lot of times. And that we don't necessarily, we're in a business with people that don't necessarily take care of us and don't encourage us to take care of ourselves.
Yes.
That we're in the salon, we don't eat anything, we drink coffee all day, we don't take care of ourselves, we don't have a ritual or a morning practice that helps us spiritually, that helps us emotionally, because that's all we're doing is giving. And then no one thinks about, well, where am I going to get my giving? Where's my goods going to come from? Because I'm giving all day. And then my mom was diagnosed with dementia about a decade ago. And in our quest to take care of her and really figuring out how we're going to take care of her mental state and her body and everything over these last 10, 12 years, we started thinking about our own health and our own well-being. And Jason and I started taking a functional adaptogen called lion's mane. And as we started taking lion's mane, which is a functional mushroom, Jason said, "Do you feel that, Ted?" I'm like, "Yeah, I feel that." And it's just a short period of time. And
what was that? What you said? Do you feel that? What was that?
It's like in my experience, it's subtle but profound in the way that it's like a veil has sort of lifted. People talk about brain fog or versus clarity. And I never thought of myself as someone who had brain fog, like I hear people talking about brain fog and whatever. But the clarity and being able to focus and pay attention, and really being interested in paying attention, is different from these functional adaptogens, these mushrooms.
So as we discovered that feeling, we thought, we want everyone to feel this way and feel good. And we've always heard for years and years and years, whatever you put on the inside of your body shows up on the outside of your body. And I think that
I must be putting bags in my mouth then.
That's
just coming out below my eyes here.
You have great skin. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, we just noticed that our community of professionals and in the beauty community, we're not talking about wellness. We're not talking about how to take care of ourselves and not talking about functional mushrooms at all. That it's as simple as taking the product is called Ascension. It's in a sachet. It's just taking one of those in the morning and how.
What does one of them look like? Open up that package. Let's see what one of them looks like.
And
by the way, you can send me the rest of the package.
And it's profound.
I'll send you my Venmo. It's $55 to open this bag.
I got it. There you go.
So
I'll get up my card.
this is one daily dose.
Yep.
This has the chaga, reishi, lion's mane, tremella, and rare blue-green algae. We're the only mushroom brand that we know that's incorporated the algae. It's in a coconut milk powder base with a hint of coffee for flavor and a hint of vanilla for flavor. But it's not a mushroom coffee. So we talk about this as like a superfood because you can put it in anything. I bake with it. I put it in soup.
I've had your
you did have it.
I've had that was some good stuff. Let me tell you.
Yeah, and so you can put it in coffee and it's delicious, or put it in your smoothie, put it on your cottage cheese, put it on a salad, put it in soup, put it in a sauce.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And the reason why is because my mom, she was the catalyst for it, and we had no idea how much it would change our lives because of taking Ascension. And when we think about beauty, wellness, and science, it is just that. We're in the beauty business, absolutely. So beauty was first. The wellness piece of it is because we know that functional mushrooms help you be well. And the science piece of it is that we consulted a scientist that lives in Oregon that's been studying functional mushrooms and algae for over 30 years. And she helped us come up with what this formula would be for optimum health, from brain health to skin health, scalp health, hair health, and all over immunity. So it's one of those things that when Jason said superfood, it's really just that, a superfood.
First of all, I hear what's the word I'm looking for? I hate the word. I don't hate the word passion. I hate how the word passion gets so overused.
Yeah.
But I'm hearing the joy of when you talk about this, and I'm assuming because my son's on this, but today we were having a conversation, and he's making all this great stuff with, and I'm going to leave it just in case I don't know if anybody wants to know about what that is right now, but I hear the joy in his voice when he talks about the things he's creating right now.
Yes.
And I hear that same joy when you guys talk about it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I think that if I'm the listener, so many times I think when people get on a podcast and they say, "Oh, here it comes. Here's the pitch." But I think it's different when you hear the joy of why people went from where they were and how they've migrated, evolved over into what they are.
Yeah.
Because of the joy of creating something for people to make them better rather than just the monetary side of it.
Right.
Yeah.
And I see that in you when you talk about that.
And you hit it on the head because, yes, we are hairdressers. And most people would think that we would come out with the shampoo and conditioner first, right?
Yeah.
But we knew that it was so important that we focus on internal first and then come out with shampoos and conditioners and styling products later. But it solidifies for us that the most important thing is that we be well. And the most important thing is that we take care of ourselves. And how do we do that? We don't necessarily do that with the shampoo and conditioner, but we can do that if you take something that you put inside of your body that is going to help you be well. That's the focus of it.
Yeah.
And the full fantasy is that we will do with fungi what Horst did with plants.
Yeah.
There's so much science. There's this tremendous velocity behind fungi right now that has never happened before. And we're talking to people all over the world that are doing incredible things, like fungi that they're discovering can digest plastic and turn it into organic material, that can clean up oil spills, that can we just learned about one the other day that I'm forgetting the word, but it can repair wounds, help skin heal.
And mycelium.
And mycelium is like God. It's like the largest living organism on the planet. And
I thought I was, but
I have those days myself.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about.
That's funny. mycelium helps to connect all the plants underneath the earth. And it's kind of like if you've ever watched Avatar,
Mm-hmm.
That's basically mycelium.
that's basic mycelium. That's exactly what mycelium is. Yeah.
And it's the link between death and rebirth, you know?
It's cool.
We're taught in colonized cultures to be afraid of mushrooms. Like, don't touch that in the woods.
Right.
It'll kill you.
Yeah.
You know, but there's, I think, upwards of 20 million, they're guessing, fungi species that we know nothing about yet.
Wow.
So incredible. And it's just really the beginning. You know, we know of mushroom coffees that are happening, which are very, very, very popular, but we know that that's the piece that we knew we didn't want to do a mushroom coffee, that we wanted to be a little bit more special than just that. And then that led us to what's really incredible, Chris, is called convergence.
Yeah. You know, and I've got to remark on you on that because, you know, we talked about, I said, the cojones that it takes for it to start and shift from hair and now go into wellness. But, you know, and convergence is a show. You're going to be doing a convention, a show, a gig.
Yes.
We're doing a gig.
Yeah, a gig. And we all know what we've all done them.
Yes.
And you know that you're both like freaking amazing educators.
Thank you.
But we know, and I'm taking a line from one of my teachers, one of my mentors, Blair Singer, where he always talked about, he said, you know, we have life force particles, and when you're doing what you guys do and you're educating and you give and you give and you give, and when I heard Blair talk about this, I always imagine, you know, like when they do it on the sci-fi movies and they hit you with this kind of ray and all of a sudden you go into little particles and you fade away into nothing. But I've always, when Blair would always talk about when people suck the life force particles out of you, I've always thought of these particles that you're going into and they're being dispersed. But what it is that you get back. You know, and Blair always talked about that you're giving, and they're sucking the life force particles out of you. But what are you doing to regenerate?
Right.
What are you doing to get those life force particles back? And what I went, shit, why didn't I think of that? Because you have at your convention, Convergence, you've got consumers, you've got consumers and hairdressers and scientists and all sorts of psychic and so on that's there. So tell us, like, first of all, were you smoking some mushrooms when you came up with this idea? Was this another form or?
Yeah, you know, I would say I have horse in my back pocket. And when I say that, working at Aveda was, if you ask anyone that worked at Aveda when he was around, and it was really profound. And I tried to stay in that place with him as much as possible. I talk to him all the time, I ask him questions, and some of you may think that sounds weird, but it's true. And I think that if I can connect to someone that I know that has made a difference for me, is going to help guide me in the right direction. Yeah. And when I think about Convergence, we wanted to create a mini Congress, but take it up a notch. And what I mean by take it up a notch is to invite the consumer in as well, because we know that consumer and professional, the lines are completely blurred now. Yeah. There is no specific definition of what professional beauty means, because it's obsolete. There, you know, we don't say I'm going to make a salon professional product. That doesn't resonate anymore. And the reason why is because the consumer is so well educated. The consumer is so ingredient literate. The consumer knows so much. And what's happened is that the consumer is driving everything that happens in the salon, whether we really know it or not. Yeah. If we're not in touch with it, we have to be in touch with it. The consumer's driving all of that for all of us.
Yeah. And the professional, you know, this is just sort of the way that I see it. So 15 years ago, maybe even less, They were coming in maybe with a picture of themselves with a haircut that they liked before, or maybe a tear from a magazine of a haircut or color that they liked. But now they're coming in with AI images of themselves with different hair and with a Pinterest board or TikToks or whatever it is. And they're saying, this is what I want. And the trick for the professional now isn't saying, I know the trends and you don't, and this is what you should do. It's like, I see what you have there, and I think that that's amazing. How can we interpret this into something that's going to work with your lifestyle, with what I already know about you, who you want to be? And so we're not saying that the professional is not still the key to that experience. What we're saying is this is an opportunity for the professional to refine their expertise in this moment of dramatic change with consumer expectation and consumer education. And, you know, like you said, we've all been talent on these main stage trade show floors for decades. And we decided that we wanted to do something that was more intimate and a little more curated. And it started off as we have friends that have a little spa out in Desert Hot Springs out here in Coachella Valley. It's a 10 or 12 room little place. And we were like, let's just invite people that think like us, that have this sort of vision about how beauty and wellness are really overlapping like never before. And there's no turning away from it. And see what kind of conversations we have. And that excitement turned into, we want 500 people at the Renaissance Hotel, May 3rd and 4th, to come and all talk about the future of beauty and wellness and how science is having so much more of an impact than ever before because the consumer knows what science is doing with peptides and adaptogens and all of these things that nobody was talking about even 5 years ago, really. You know,
we're bringing consumers and professionals into the same room. There are times that the professional and the consumer will be separate, but generally in the general session, we have panels. And in those panels, we have longevity doctors that are talking about peptides, that are talking about the newest, whatever it is that you put in your body and also what you put on the outside of your body. We have astrologers. We have mycologist, people that talk about fungi. We have
other beauty entrepreneurs talking about how their businesses are impacted by AI and by technology in general. We have a guy who's an expert in Asian medicine and psychedelics. There's such a huge conversations about psychedelics and mental health, and a lot of people have so many questions. And so we're bringing all of these different things into 2 1-hour panel discussions that maybe feel unrelated, but through the questions and answers, we'll see how all of these things are so overlapping now, like they haven't in the past.
And it's wellness. You know, your mental clarity is being well. The way you look is being well. The way you feel is being well. All of these things are attributing to your wellness. And most people don't necessarily think of it that way, but that's how we think of it. And that's what we think of the future of beauty is going to be.
You know, I also think that if I'm a hairdresser listening to this, and if I knew that my customers were going to be there from the general population, I'd go, you know what? I think I need to be there because I need to get this information at the same time as the consumer is hearing this, so that number one, the people that are there see it, the people that my customers know that when this is on, even if I'm not from that area, and they know I was there, they hear this stuff coming out in the press, and you say you were there right at the beginning when this happened, that makes me the contact and the go-to person that gets there.
Yes.
So I I just think what you guys are putting together is absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, and I don't mean, I'm not blowing smoke. I just think that, I said it before, why didn't I think of that? But it's just, I think that shows the progression that you have for caring about the industry. And I applaud you for the energies that you're going to be giving back to the public and to the hairdresser.
Thank you very much. You know,
now, we've talked about two things here that I think are critical. Is number one is the product itself. I mean, I promise you, I'm sending my checkbook. I want some of this for me. I need to clear up some brain fog. That's the first part. Second part is the see or be seen there. And so if people want to either A, find out more about the product, purchase the product. If they want to go and okay, now I've heard this, I get it, I understand what this is about with convergence, and I want to get there. Where do they go? How do they get a hold of tickets? How do they get a hold of the product?
Well, the easiest way is pull out your mobile device right now, viewer, because for the product, you can scan that QR code right there, and that'll bring you right to the order now on our website. And I think what we should do is we should create a code that your fans and followers can use to get a discount on our product. So let's make sure we make that happen. And then if they want to come to Convergence, that's the QR code there. So scan that. It'll bring you right to the place that you can book tickets. If you're listening and not watching, go to tedgibson.com. Yeah. At tedgibson.com, we have a full page dedicated to Convergence where you can really learn more about it, about why we're doing it, who's coming. We've got some of our presenters up on the website now, our sponsors up on the website. And then we've also got a full page for Ascension. So you can get both your ticket, all the information you want on the product and the show at tedgibson.com.
Yeah. And I think that if they want that, either just type in Ascension and then put, what should we say, Ascension/Headcases?
Okay.
Yeah, I think we can even just skip Ascension because it'll be it's at checkout, so they'll already be there. So we'll just have it be Headcases.
Okay, just type in Headcases and then you got that. So again, if you're listening, just remember tedgibson.com, and you can go there. You'll get all the information. They'll have that stuff on there, and then you can just mention Headcases, and then you'll get that.
Thank you, Chris. Yeah.
So, guys, I just want to say this. It's been an absolute pleasure. I don't know who enjoys this more, the people that are watching, listening, or me, and I have to say probably me. But I want to throw this out. Quick rapid fire stuff. First thing that comes to your brain, I'm going to throw it. I'll go spin it back and forth with the both of you.
Okay.
Jason, what turns you on in the creative process?
I think it's that feeling of excitement and inspiration. I know that when I'm in the mode of inspiration and creativity, then that just takes me.
Got it. And what stifles it?
Boredom. But I know that if I'm bored, I'm boring. So I try to shift gears and get unbored.
Got it. Ted.
Yes.
The things in life that you love the most?
I love my husband. I love my house. I love my body. I love my mind. I love my dogs. I love my business. I love doing hair. I love being alive.
Wonderful.
Yes.
And in life, what do you dislike the most?
I dislike rude people. I dislike people who, if you look at them and they look at you and you say hello, that they don't say hello back. I dislike bad energy, and I'm an empath, and I pick up on it, and I move out of the way. Yeah. I dislike racism. I dislike anything that has to do with keeping people in a place where they necessarily don't want to be, or maybe even don't know how to get out of it. Yeah. And I hate that.
Yeah. Let's see. Now, okay, good. Jason, what do you love most about our industry?
I love the people. I think that people that are drawn to this industry are like a combination of rock star and bartender. Mm-hmm. You know, we know how to be the center of attention, but we also know how to listen and pay attention. And I think that there's something really special about the way that we connect with our communities, the way that we're the hub of every community that we're in. We're the people that are like, what show's happening? What restaurant open in town? What's going on after the church bake sale? We know everything that's going on. And so people come to us for more than just hair. They come to us because we're cultural connectors.
Yeah.
We're the cool kids.
We're the cool kids on the block. And what do you, just a quick answer, what do you dislike the most about the industry?
Insecurity.
Oof.
I think a lot of us that are drawn to this want to make other people beautiful because there's something that we feel like we're missing.
Yep. Okay, this one's for both of you. Person that you admire the most.
Ted.
Smart answer. Smart answer.
Yeah.
Okay, Ted, something
I'm feeling really dirty, but I'm not going to. Sorry.
Okay, Ted, person that you wish you could meet.
Oh my God.
The tough one.
Is that living or dead?
Anybody. You've got the whole world to pick from.
I would say personally, I would love to meet Martin Luther King.
Oh, wow. Yeah, wow. We haven't had that one come up, and that's brilliant. Jason, something that people don't know about you.
I'm an Eagle Scout.
Oh.
Trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, brave, clean, and
Now, is it
reverent.
this or this? I can't remember. No, this is LA. Oh,
This
yeah,
is
that's this
close,
one.
but-
LA, yeah, here. Okay, good. To the both of you, one answer, because I'm sure that as a couple you'd know where this is. A month off, where would you go and what would you do?
Oh, I really want to go to Machu Picchu.
I want to go to the south of France. I love the south of France. And I love Morocco. Can I have two? I love Morocco.
Yeah, Morocco. We can do it. We can pick. Listen, we can have as many as we want. It's our show.
Good.
Okay, for both of you, what thing that terrifies you? I don't know about me. It's spiders. I can deal with rattlesnakes, but I can't deal with spiders.
I want to say what terrifies me is thinking about my own mortality.
Oh, wow.
Interesting.
Jason?
Just being unwell. Like I want to do what I can to stay well as long as possible.
Good. Smart. I'm going to adopt that one too, because I'm going to be using Ascension. Okay, both of you, favorite cuss word?
Pussy.
Oh, you do say that a lot. I go between God damn it and motherfucker. So it's like I think those are the.
I want to make a reel of all these with all of the people that are famous cuss words. Just one after the other.
So is pussy a cuss word?
It can be.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's over.
The favorite comfort food?
French fries.
Oh, Jason.
I like tater tots.
Tater tots. Yeah, we're close there. See, mine would be poutine. I just
Poutine is
all that
amazing,
and
yeah.
gravy. You know. Okay, good. If you had Jason, if you had one do-over in your life, what would it be?
Save for retirement.
Okay, good.
My brother and sister-in-law, or my sister and brother-in-law, have saved 20% of every check that they've made since they graduated from high school.
Wow.
I did not do that.
Smart.
Yeah.
Smart. Ted,
Yes.
tomorrow you couldn't do hair. What would you do?
I'm doing it.
Ta-da!
I'm doing it. Yes. I
Okay,
am.
for the both of you, if you had one wish for our industry, well, actually, I'm going to give you this one. If you had one wish for our industry, what would it be?
That we would erase competition.
Jason.
That we would, kind of along those lines, like partner together more than talk shit about each other.
Yeah. Yeah, wouldn't it be great if we, instead of talking smack, we combined and, 1 + 1 can be 3 or 5.
Oh my God. Just think how incredible it would have been, especially during COVID.
Still can be. Still can be.
It still can be.
It's not too late.
For sure.
Well, the two of you, damn it, we don't get a chance to talk enough. And I love you both.
Love you.
Love it back.
So, next time when I'm in Phoenix, we're going to get together, have much wine or coffees or food or whatever that is and have more shits and giggles. I always feel we need more of that.
Would love it.
And I'm going to leave you with, first of all, I just wanted to say thank you so much for, you guys are going through hell right now, putting the program together in a good way, putting the program together, and launching your product, and yet you took time away to be on Headcases, and I just wanted to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks again.
It was a pleasure.
Everything.
And I just want to say this, Jason, you said that you left New York rich and you left LA broke, but the richness that you guys are bringing to the world with this new product and your Convergence Convention, I can't believe I got that out. Both those words are so close. That the summit that you're doing is going to help to enrich people's lives. So that's
the goal.
Back to being rich. So I just want to say thank you, guys. It was an absolute pleasure to have you on.
Thank you. Chris.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks again for watching this episode. And if you liked what you heard, remember to smash that like or follow button, depending on your preferred platform. And make sure to share it with anyone you know that might be a fellow Headcase. Headcases is produced by Cut Action Media with Marjorie Phillips doing the planning parts, Lee Baran on the video bits, and Adrian Taverner mixing the audio jazz.